Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to have the third in a series of videos about how to stay in touch while you are traveling and kind of in remote places. You know, we all become so dependent on our cell phones and we think they'll always work. Well, the truth is they won't always work. Sometimes if you're adventurous like I am and like Roxy is, and you get back a little further in a remote country, you may find that your cell phone doesn't work and all of a sudden you need help. Your cars broke down, the vans broke down, the RVs broke down. What are you going to do? Well, to solve that, there's a lot of GPS technology that uses satellite to call for help and to stay in touch with friends and family while you're out there and say, I'm fine, don't worry. Or you can send a message and say, start worrying, I need help, come and help me. Or if it's all out emergency, say, call out to the government and say, come get me, rescue me right now. So that technology is easily available. We are reviewing three of the more popular ways to get that help. The first is the Spot InReach. I happen to have one right here. This is the Spot. It's become pretty popular. And Roxy's told you all about it. I'm not going to rehash all the information about the Spot or any of them. Here's the one problem with that they all have. They all require an open view of the sky. If you can't see the sky, if the device can't look up into the sky and connect to satellites, it's worthless. It will not communicate. It's just a dead weight you're carrying around. So how good are they in bad sky situations? That's today's video. So Roxy went out into a deep forest, and she also went out into a slot canyon and tested them. Did they work? Did they not work? And that's what we're going to see today. So this first test, this first segment is actually in Rocky Mountain National Park, where she was visiting. She was in a dense forest, and she did a test between the Spot and the InReach. In this first segment of the test, the Spot did connect, but the InReach could not. So that might imply that the technology in the Spot is a little better, or that the InReach just had so much more requirements, or maybe it was just a bad luck. We can't know for sure. But it was a very dense forest, so that's not actually all that surprising. It was a little surprising that the Spot worked. That's actually speaks well for it. And with the InReach, she was able to move to a bigger clearing, and just, you know, she walked around with a device in her hand and studied it and watched it and knew that when she had the lights all came on, they were all connected. And so she could try again, and she tried again, and the InReach finally did connect and send the message.
I'm here in beautiful Rocky Mountain National Park. It's May 2017, and today I decided to bring the InReach device and the Spot device out and test them in the density of trees and see how well they compared. The InReach device underneath some trees and tried sending it a message a little bit ago, and in this location it wouldn't send a message. I'm now trying the Spot device, and I have the InReach turned off so they don't interfere with each other. Trying the Spot device, and it is trying to send messages. It takes a long time for the Spot to send, and it actually sends 3 messages to make sure that at least one gets through. There is no red flashing GPS light, so I assume it's sending a message, but I won't know until I check my email later. Here are both the devices, and this is where the trees that I tried them under and the amount of density. There's a little bit of a gap there, but I basically put them both directly under the trees. Okay. Looks like the Spot actually sent those messages underneath the trees, whereas the InReach device couldn't. So here's the InReach. This is where I moved it to in order to get this message to go through. And Here is the clearing that it had. It's still not bad, but it did need a little bit more of a clearing than the spot.
In the next segment, while she's in the forest, she does a speed test. She sends a message with the spot device and waits till she hears that it's went through. And it took about exactly the same time, and she was actually pretty impressed that it didn't slow down in a fairly dense forest.
So I'm doing this, the second test now. I did the first one up in the snow at Bear Lake. The trees were a little thicker there. This is the density here, which is typical of a lot of Rocky Mountain National Park. So there isn't a direct clearing above, but there is a little bit of sky. I triggered it at 12:15, and we'll see how long it takes for this to go through. Right now it's looking good. It looks like the messages are sending. It's now 12:25, and so this has been sending for 10 minutes. 12:30, and the spot just got done sending the messages, so it took 15 minutes, and it sends 3 times. It does take about 5 minutes each message, so in this amount of density here, I didn't notice any difference in the spot. I'm actually quite impressed. So the message on the InReach device went through in about 2 minutes. The spot took 15, but you cannot compare that. That's how long it takes for the spot device to send 3 messages. It usually takes about 15 minutes. And this is usually pretty quick, within 1 or 2 minutes to send a message, and you get a little chirp when it's gone through. So in this amount of tree cover we have here, and a little bit of an overcast sky, both of these worked very well. They both sent messages, even though it's not completely clear and open, and they say that you should take it to a clearing, and I'm pretty impressed. They both took the time they would take in a wide open spot with no trees around at all.
And now we're going to look at the third test that Roxy did with the devices. She went into a slot canyon. This was a slot canyon somewhere in Utah. There's a whole lot of them in Utah, and she and I both love Utah, and so she goes explores it a lot. So she was in Utah in the slot canyon. She shows you a view up top. There is almost no view of the sky. It's not at all surprising that she could not get a signal out. It would be a miracle that if any device could get lock onto all 3 satellites. So you have to understand that there are limitations to these devices. So what she did when she could not make a connection in that spot was just continue walking down the canyon. She came to a wide spot, and when she came to the wide spot, the spot device was able to connect and send its messages, and she checked later and they had gone through.
I have come out here on my own, and anything could happen, I guess. I could easily slip on one of these rocks. a rock could fall on me. Highly unlikely, but it has happened. And so I sent a message with my spot device first by pushing this button here. And it does need a clear sky, so I'm not sure if it would be getting a message out right now anyway, because that's looking up. And in order to access the satellite, it has to be able to, it has to have a clear sky, and this is just a sliver. So in this circumstance, I'm not sure if it would work or not. And as you can see right now, the GPS thing is flashing red. Actually, it looks green on my screen, but it's actually flashing red. That's interesting. So anyway, I do have that with me. Whether it would do me much good right now if I fell and hurt myself, I am not sure. So these are not 100% guaranteed to save you in an emergency. Anyway, I am going to push the OK button. I don't think this will go through until I'm back out of this narrows again. So I gotta go and scramble up here again and then go along that ledge. Alrighty, on my way.
So I hope that helps. The Spot is a great device. Overall, Roxy loves it. She loves the InReach. And we'll have another video long term where she gives a final review and says her final conclusions. She's going to keep one of the devices, or maybe them all, I don't know. And that will become hers, and she'll have to make a choice. This is the device that works best, and I want it. And she's the perfect person to do this job. So I hope that helps. I hope you realize that these devices can allay a lot of your fears. You can be safe as a nomad traveling, even if you like to go in more remote places. So that's my goal, to allay some of your fears and help you to know that you can be safe. So I'll see you on the next video. Until then, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, tell all your friends on social media there's another better way to live. There's a way to live, to drop out of the rat race. You know, even if you win the rat race, you know what? You're still a rat. So why be a rat? Why settle for a mediocre life of drudgery and routine? And instead live a life of adventure and travel and happiness and joy, and most important of all, peace of mind, because that's what you can find by getting out of the rat race. Okay, we'll talk to you later.